He getting worship in the heavens by the angels. Hallelujah, hallelujah. He feed the birds of the heaven, he'll feed you. When you was broke, he paid your bills when they was overdue. I put my trust in God, y'all be believing you. I put my trust in God, cause he'll see it through. I trust in God cause he delivered me from addiction. I was sick in my sin, his love is my prescription. What kind of man forgive his killers at his crucifixion? So I had to die to myself, I guess it's the benediction. My trust in God remove me from the devil's jurisdiction. You say you trust him, but you're stressing, that's a contradiction. If faith's your gun, trust is your ammunition. Be efficient of men is the greatest commission. You put the trust in tradition and have you out of position. With your trust in him, the solid above the opposition.
You know, there were times we were in, you know, me and my children had went to a homeless shelter, not a homeless shelter, but to a battered women's shelter.
Yeah.
Because there was one time my ex-husband, you know, locked us in the house and I had bruises all over me and they had a doctor's appointment. That was the only way I could get out.
How many of us are still hoping when the situation is just bad? And most of us, you know, the Lord's like, you need to just let it go. But Lord, I'm hoping, I hope.
You asked me when we talked earlier, you asked me, when I was had the years of molestation, did I tell?
Yes.
I want to talk about that because I want some people to know, and some young people to know, and some mothers to know that we have to have communication with our children, and we have to have hard communication with our children.
You were saying, let's go back to how you were saying that, because I want to talk more about you backsliding, because a lot of people, they backslid and they don't tell nobody, and it's like, okay, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about us backsliding and coming back to God, and that I want to talk about that part.
So, yes. Not only do we need to talk about me backsliding, we need to talk about how we respond to it.
Yes.
So, yes, I backslid because like I said, I'm bitter, I'm hurt, I'm angry. I feel like, God, you know, you wasn't with me. You know, you wasn't there for me. You know, I did all of these things, you know, and as a result, you should have rewarded me. Come on now.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Me with a positive outcome.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything.
Yes.
But one thing God had to show me later was that he doesn't go against the will of a man.
Come on, Jesus.
And so often when we're going through things, you know, we want God to treat us, you know, God gives us will. We have a will.
Yes.
And he gives us choice.
Right.
And so we're not puppets.
Right.
You know, he doesn't control us. So he also is not going to control another person on our behalf. That person has a will as well.
As his own, right.
So in my getting bitter at God, I negated the fact that man has a will and man has a choice to choose and do what he will. So in all of that, my anger, my frustration, I backslide. So here was the painful part for me, especially the second time around, because now I have a whole lot of people that know me.
Yes.
You know, because this is after my second marriage.
Yes.
I have a whole host of saints who know me.
Yes.
And I became taboo. Except for one person.
Explain you becoming taboo.
Nobody talked. Nobody reached out to me. Nobody, you know, when they saw me, if they saw me, they spoke. But nobody, you know, checked on me. Nobody befriended me. Nobody. It was none of that, except for one person. She went her.
Before you say that, was you feeling lonely? Was you feeling what was your feelings?
Well, no, I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And also saying, you know what? Well, they ain't calling me no way.
Right.
You know, they ain't trying to fellowship with me no way. You
Is
know,
that bitter?
It's bitter. Yeah, it's bitter. And so, you know, I'm like, we were friends. We were co-laborers.
Yes.
We were sisters.
Yeah.
We were sisters. And, you know, but now what?
Yeah.
You know, do I not exist anymore? Because it was a process.
Yes.
It wasn't that I just, you know, fell off. It was a process.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, oh, but if I'm not doing for you, or if I'm not there for you,
then I don't exist.
I don't exist. One of the things I did not prepare for after my divorce, I prepared for a lot of things because it was prompted from me.
Yeah.
So I prepared for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was not prepared to lose our friends.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that.
Wow. Wow. Talk about that.
I was not prepared for that. I mean, they went non-existent.
Wow.
All the, the close, they just went non-existent. It's like I said, except for one, and her and I were really good friends coming up through our former ministry together, and she was the only one. And here's the blessing of her.
Yeah.
She would call and she would say, hey, can you meet for lunch? And I'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd meet for lunch and we would just talk.
Yeah.
It wasn't you need to be back in church. It was none of that.
Yeah.
It was just we simply talked. And I went my way, she went her way.
Yeah.
Some time ago, a couple of months later, whatever, she said, hey, you got time for dinner, got time for lunch. And we would go.
Yes.
She was the only one.
Yeah.
Out of all of our hosts
of friends,
she was the only one. But I thank God for the one.
Yes.
Because all it takes is one. And so in the times when I felt, I felt the need to come back, her and her husband had already started a ministry, so I had went there to allow myself to get restored and everything. But this time around, it was harder.
Why?
Because it came with so much more guilt. It came with so much more shame. It came with so much more, God, how can you use me now?
Yes.
It came with so much more, God, I failed you.
Yeah.
It was no.
You said one thing. You said that you battle with your flesh, guilt, and the thought of how can God use me now? Am I fit for the kingdom? And I think that was so profound. Am I fit for the kingdom? Talk about
and then
that.
one of the things, just really like, God, do I have what it takes?
After all that I've been through.
All that I've done. No, it's not even about what I've been through anymore.
Yes.
Now it's about what I have done.
Yes.
Because now I forsake you. I walked away from you.
Yes.
So now am I fit? Can you trust me? God, can you trust me? And then one of the biggest things I dealt with when I came back in this time around was fear of falling.
Yes.
That God, I know what I'm called to do. I know who I'm called to.
Yeah.
I knew all of that. So it's like, and now that I'm back in, you know, everybody, the encouragement is there, the building up is there, you're hearing God. But it's like, God, I don't know, because what if I get up there? What if I get out there? And I fall? So I was afraid of falling, so I didn't want to get up. So I allowed myself to stay in the background.
How many of us, Jesus, are too afraid of falling? I know I dealt with it many times, and I know a lot of people haven't, especially when you come up in age. You have done a little stuff, and each time for me, I done failed so many times, Jesus. And so when he says, hey, I need you to do something, I'm like, Lord, but remember the time that I fell on my behind? I don't want to fall again. So you know what, Lord, I'm just going to sit right here. I'm not going to do what you say, because I don't know if I can be able to trust myself to,
Exactly. And that's good, trusting our own self. Because sometimes it's not about God. It's not about trusting God. It's about trusting me.
Yes.
It's about, can I trust me with what you had for me?
Oh
can
my God.
I trust me with this?
Yes. I tell my husband all the time. I said, every time I hear a story, every time I hear a testimony, I believe it's God's masterpiece. And I'm like this, he'll. And I'm like, Lord, Jesus, please don't let me drop this. Please don't let me drop this. Because I know who I am. I know that, I'm just human.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop this.
Yeah.
This is heavy. This is precious. This is, Lord, you sure? No, you know me. You know I'm Toya. You know I done messed up a couple times. You know my backstory.
Yeah. But it's getting to that place of knowing who you are and knowing who you are for real.
Yeah.
And knowing whose you are.
Yeah.
And knowing that for real.
Yeah.
We say that cliche-ish. Cliche-ish. But it's the truth. But it's truly knowing.
Yeah.
You know, right now, going through, I'm in a mentor group, being mentored.
Right.
And one of the things we're talking about right now is our identity.
Oh.
And how our identity matters. Like, you know, Jesus knew who he was.
Yes.
And that's why he was able to do what he did.
In excellence.
In excellence.
Mm.
We need to know who we are, and we need to know why we do what God has called us to do. Because without your why,
Yes.
you'll treat it like anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to know why we do what we do.
Right.
I have to embrace my why.
Mm-hmm.
And my why is for every little girl,
Yeah.
for every grown woman
Yes.
that has suffered at the hand of molestation and rape and abuse,
Yes.
to know that you can still be whole.
Yes.
That's my why.
Yes.
My why is that I can tell you that you can still be whole,
Yes.
that you can still look in the mirror and find yourself beautiful,
Yes.
that you can, you know, find yourself worthy
Yes.
enough, that you
Yes.
can find yourself able and willing
Yes.
to, you know, live an awesome life, be it with or without.
Yes.
A mate.
Yes.
You know, we get so wrapped up that our happiness is
It's
surrounded
by
by
some guy.
by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not. It's not. I ask God, let me be happy single,
Mm-hmm.
so that when it comes time for me to remarry, I'm already happy.
Yeah.
I don't need you to make me happy.
Yes.
I'm already happy.
Yes.
You know, we're just gonna be two happy people going through this happy life. But we need to be whole. We need to be healed.
Yes.
You know, prior
Yes.
to. So yeah.
Yes.
I
I love that. We whole, we happy. We
Yeah.
be happy together. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us more about your ministry.
So I'm worth the wait. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I really am. I need COVID to be over. I mean, we need COVID to be over for a whole bunch of reasons.
Yes.
But I need COVID to be over because I need us to come together.
Yes.
You know, and it's going to be a lot. I started my own travel. I joined a travel business.
Yeah.
As a travel agent, and I did it not to be a travel agent.
Yeah.
I did it because I want to have the ability to have trips.
Yes.
For singles to go on that are wholesome and
Yeah.
whole, and you know, where again you have an opportunity to meet people in an element where you can kind of see their flow, their atmosphere, and you know, we're gonna have this thing called porch talk.
Talk about that.
Where we're gonna sit on a porch. I gotta find a porch. We're gonna sit on a porch and we're gonna talk about things that we don't want to talk about.
Why on the porch, Jesus?
I don't know. It's just something about the porch. Like, I think because I'm from up north,
Yeah.
and we have porches. It's like, let's just go sit out on the porch and talk. And you know, we talk about those hard things. We don't want to talk about that stuff, but we have to.
Yes.
We have to talk about
I think
it.
now in this season that we're in, or this generation, it's sad because you can be in the same room talking to that person, but you're on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no skills how we used to have it back in the day. There's no skills of, you know, social skills. That's what I'm trying to say. And now it's just everything is you don't know that person's tall, short. You know, you don't know none of that until you meet each other. Then you're like, you know what? Well, hey, I don't invested all this time on social media.
Yes.
You know.
I did online dating.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the scary thing that it was years ago. I mean, you actually do meet real people and all this kind of stuff. My problem with online dating is people can camouflage who they are.
Right.
And it was a lot of that from men. I can't say men and women. Well, men told me that women catfish them. Well, men catfish women too.
Yes.
You know, they put up that 21-year-old body, but they in that, you know, that barrel body now. And I'm like, come on, y'all. Again, where is our authentic self?
Yes.
And here's my thing. It doesn't matter what you look like.
Right.
But own it.
Yes.
Be honest with it.
Yes.
If you don't like it, then do something about it.
Right.
But don't subject somebody to all of this falseness.
Yes.
You know, because once again, if you're not happy,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have to do all of this camouflaging and lying and deceiving and all of that, then I don't want you.
Yeah.
You're not who I want.
Yeah.
Because you can't even own who your authentic self.
Right.
You know, we have to be authentic. We have to, you know who I'm talking to, who we're dating, who you know, and being honest. Honesty is key. Honesty is key.
Yes, a lot
Honesty
of that is
is
kind of
key.
thrown
It's
out
a
the
lot
way.
of it's married men on dating sites. I mean, come on, you're married.
Yeah.
You know, figure it out.
Yeah.
Work it out. Do what you have to do.
What would you say to someone that is looking for their mate in a world full of people who are just masking their truth? What would you say for someone that's scared to, you know, to even go out there and meet somebody?
You have to. What I tell people, I'll say this: what I have done.
Mm-hmm.
What I have done is, I wasn't going to be a hermit. I didn't just stay in the because I know a lot of people, especially women, who say I don't want to deal with that. I'm not going out there. You know, I took myself to dinner by myself. You know, I went to the movies by myself. You know, and I was okay. I've gone on trips
By yourself.
by myself.
Were
I've
you
gone on
like
vacation.
dating yourself type of thing?
And I was okay with that. And that's because that's a part of you getting to know you.
A lot of people like that's a scary thing.
It is.
It's a scary thing to try
to.
to actually sit down and get to know yourself.
Yeah, it is. But you have to do it. Because here's the thing, if you don't know you, how are you going to then present yourself to someone and expect them to be able to know you? You don't even know you.
I remember after getting out of a long relationship before I met my husband, it was a year and some change where I actually had to sit down like, you know what, Jesus, I need to figure out me. Because I need to know what I like, what I don't like, what I put up, what I don't put up. Because up until then, it was the flesh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know myself until, you know, after sitting down the Lord, like, you know what, I like this or I don't like this. So when I was able to meet my husband, one of our first conversations, like, look, man, this is boom, 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 boom. This is who I am. This is what I like. And then the funny thing was, he's like, I like that too. I said, oh, well, we can keep it pushing then.
Exactly. But here's the thing. What about the person who have no idea what they like, have no idea what they want, and so they continue to mold themselves to what the person likes, to what the person wants,
Or what society thinks.
or what society thinks, and
I
then
see
in
a
the midst
lot
of
of
all
that.
of that, you lose who you are.
I see a lot of that. I see a lot, and I'm just going to be real. I see a lot of that with people having butt implants or people taking fat out or whatever because they're trying to build an image that society says is beautiful instead of owning all your gut and your and your dislikes or whatever, owning yourself. It's like, you know what? Me, I'm pigeon-toed. Well, Lord, I'm going to just be pigeon-toed, you know?
Yeah.
I see a lot of that. A lot of us are, or even like with the filters, it's like, you know, you don't look like that. But the society, it tells us what is beautiful.
Right.
Oh, I hate that. And like children are growing up in that.
Yeah. And I will keep saying it. Be your authentic self. Get to know you so that you can be happy with you.
Yes.
So you can know how to love you, that it doesn't matter if no one else loves you. You love you.
Yes.
You're happy with you.
Yes.
Because that's your authentic self.
Question for you: in your ministry, will you have an opportunity to sit down both male and female and to say, you know, that one-on-one time with themselves before they bring them together?
So the ministry, and I don't even want, it's a movement.
Yeah.
It's a
You said
movement.
that, yeah.
It's a movement.
Yeah.
It's a movement to wholeness.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
Jesus,
it's a
yes.
movement to, you know, becoming whole, so that when they sit down together, they can already know what type of conversations they need to have.
Yes.
I mean, it'll eventually, we'll have summits. I don't want to call it a conference. It'll be summits where we're coming together. And there'll be breakouts, to help people deal with various things.
Yes.
So if you are that person who has gone through molestation, who's gone through rape, who's gone through abuse, and you need help with navigating that, you'll be in that breakout session. If you are a man who was abusive.
Right.
Because come on, we always want to paint the abusive man as a big bad wolf, but this same abusive man, something happened.
Yes,
that caused him to be and lash out that way.
Yes.
So let's now dig deep into that place so that he can be healed and so he can be whole.
I'm glad you say that because we always, it's a bad thing, the bad situation, but both parties needs help. Don't just throw away the man.
Right.
Yes, it was a bad situation and he did wrong, but let's try to heal him too.
But let me mess you up. What about the man that raped? Who helps him heal?
Yes.
If society keeps painting him as the big bad wolf, as the great big monster, he needs help too.
Wow.
He needs healing too. The man that touches, the woman
that
touches inappropriately need healing and help too.
Yes.
But we ignore those, again, we push that in a corner and we only deal with the victim.
Yes.
But haven't society shown us very clearly that a lot of victims become abusers?
Yes. Yes.
So all of it. So we want to, the summit is going to deal with those kind of things. One of the things I do want to do, I'm just going to be just a little snippet, but I want to do monologues.
Oh!
And I want to do monologues about inner thoughts.
Yes.
What it sounds like when these different conversations are happening. What are your real inner thoughts about it? And let us begin to hear what we really sound like. I can't believe, you once again cheated on me. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't believe you're ignoring me, says the man. And the woman says, and I'm trying to be everything I can be to you. I've changed this, I've changed this thing. And the man is saying, why are you changing? I never asked you to. These are our inner thoughts that we never let come out of our mouth.
Why do you think we never let it come out?
It's vulnerability and it's fear of losing a person. Because even in the midst of being in a relationship, it's still I have somebody.
Yes.
And I don't want to lose this person.
Yes. And
so I'm not going to why is it so hard for us to tell one another, we go through life. We get married, we have children, our bodies change.
Yes.
What happens? Why does a man? And these are the things we want to answer. Why does a man decide to go and find the first version of you versus asking you or talking to you about helping you getting back to the first version of you?
Just like my marriage now, like we are now exercising together. And for me, it's more for my health. But my husband we're doing it together. Instead of him finding me back then or finding me who I used to be or whatever, it's like, you know what, love, let's go ahead and do this together.
Yes. We have, and then here's the other thing. We meet people. If I'm not your type, tell me. If you're not let's be that honest.
I was gonna say,
honest. Let's be that honest. So it's time to be authentic.
Yeah.
It's just time to be authentic.
I'm so glad that you are birthed in this ministry because it's needed. Because right now we are sitting in, like I said before, in a generation or in a season of not being real with each other. And not being real with each other is causing a lot of problems.
Yes, it is.
It's causing us to do things that we won't normally have done 10 years ago. And it's time for us to really get back to the basics of social and us sitting down like we are now and having a conversation. And I think what's even more profound is you are having summits. So if there is an issue of if you're being raped or been abused, let's deal with that issue by yourself before I even introduce you to your
Anyone.
possible.
That's right.
You know, and then what you even said that was even more profound was not to forget about the men.
Yes.
Because we are always throwing, you know, well, they did this and they did, well, they were broken and they still broken. What we're going to do to help them. So that was even more profound. And I'm just like, come on, Miss Toya. Oh, thank you so much for just your conversation.
Thank you.
I feel like not only did you were able to share your testimony, it was a good conversation of enlightenment and encouragement. And we need that. We need you. So don't stop. I'm going to be looking for your ministry.
Yes.
You want to be a part of it and everything, because I really feel like it's needed. We need that right now. There's a lot of lost people out there just in the dark, just bumping into each other. And we don't have to do that. We can actually have a conversation and not be, and to be honest with each other.
Yes. Yes.
To be honest. Well, guys, that was it. Thank you so much for joining us with our guest, Miss Willette Toy Thomas. Thank you so much for being here. I
Thank you
really,
for
like I
having me.
said, enjoyed your conversation.
Yes, it was great.
Until next time, guys, remember to love, pray, and be that beacon of light for the world to see. Bye, guys.
He getting worship in the heavens by the angels. Hallelujah, hallelujah. He feed the birds of the heaven, he'll feed you. When you was broke, he paid your bills when they was overdue. I put my trust in God, y'all be believing you. I put my trust in God, cause he'll see it through. I trust in God cause he delivered me from addiction. I was sick in my sin, his love is my prescription. What kind of man forgive his killers at his crucifixion? So I had to die to myself, I guess it's the benediction. My trust in God remove me from the devil's jurisdiction. You say you trust him, but you're stressing, that's a contradiction. If faith's your gun, trust is your ammunition. Be a vicious of men is the greatest commission. You put your trust in tradition and have you out of position. With your trust in him, the solid up the opposition.